Welcome to Voices of Change, a podcast created by young people for young people, exploring mental health through the lens of culture, lived experience, and resilience. In communities across Australia, young refugees and asylum seekers face unique mental health challenges shaped by trauma, cultural dislocation, and barriers to care. This podcast is part of a powerful initiative led by the Multicultural Youth Advisory Group, a collaboration between community members and MELI, a family and community services organisation. Over 12 months, 20 young people aged 16 to 28 came together to learn, share and lead. Through training, group work and community consultation, they built safe spaces for healing, dialogue and growth. Together, they mapped out the gaps in mental health services, challenged stigma, and co-designed culturally responsive strategies, all informed by lived experience. This podcast is the final product of that journey. It is a platform for storytelling, education, and advocacy, amplifying the voices of young people who are shaping a more inclusive and responsive mental health system. Whether you are a young person, a teacher, a service provider, or a member of the broader community, we invite you to listen, learn, and be part of the change.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Multicultural Community Advisory podcast, where we will be talking about mental health. In the previous weeks we've learned about different kinds of mental health, symptoms of mental health, defense mechanisms, and how we should care for our body. First of all, I would like to start by acknowledging the custodians of the land, the Wadawurrung people, and pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. Welcome everyone. Today we've got members from the Afghan community of Geelong, the Hazara community of Geelong, the Syrian community of Geelong, and the Karenni community of Geelong. Welcome everyone, and our group members are Saida from Hazara community of Geelong, Pia from Syrian community of Geelong, Patricia from Syrian community of Geelong, Irfan from Afghan community of Geelong, Ella from Karen and Karenni community of Geelong, myself, Ali from Hazara community of Geelong, and David from Hazara community of Geelong also. So let's go ahead and start the podcast. The first question that I've prepared for tonight for you guys is, what do you think about mental health before attending this committee? Does anybody want to answer?
For me, I already knew a lot about mental health. It was always an interesting topic for me. That's why when I heard about this opportunity, I was very excited because finally I can have a safe space to talk about mental health. Anybody want to add something?
I was exactly like her. I had a little bit of knowledge about mental health, and I thought that I was confident at first, but then when I met other people and started learning about how their brain works and the difference, it made me realize much more things than I thought I would learn from it.
Before joining the group, I had a basic understanding and knowledge of the mental health, but when I was new to Australia, I had no understanding whatsoever. I didn't even know what it was the actual thing or not. But at the school, they taught us pretty basic knowledge of it. They haven't gone to depth and details of what's actually is mental health and what are the symptoms and what are the types of mental illness that you could be, mental health illness that you could be facing. So I would say, pretty basics, not many stuff. So, but I'm glad I joined the group, so we'll learn more and expand my knowledge as I go along.
Yeah, also for me as well, like back home, we don't really know the term mental health, but then after joining this, we get to understand more like the signs and symptoms, and also how mental health is such a big thing and how important it is for young people to understand and like dive into as well.
Yeah, for me, mental health before I joined this group or this community, I didn't know about much. I didn't know much about mental health, and I thought it's a sickness or a weakness of a person that doesn't have to like the right way of thinking, and they are just mentally like destroyed and cannot think about anything. So, in joining this group, I learned that what mental health is. It is not just a sickness. It is about your feeling and expression and
Yeah, before coming to joining this group, what my impression of mental health was that it's probably a mental disease. It is also known as some people from parts of Middle East would refer to as people that are crazy, and that's what I was thinking about mental health. However, after attending this committee, I got further understanding that it's not about the person being crazy, but about feelings and how the body reacts to that. Thank you. The second question that I have for everybody tonight, it's a two-part question. The first part being, what did you learn from other young people in the group who you are, from other different cultures? And the second part of that question is, how did other young people from different culture impact your perspective on mental health?
So before I was in this group, like I had no idea what others were going through. While I came to this group and joined this group, I realized like every culture is similar. In some cultures, mental health is a big deal, but in some cultures it's just important. Like people think it's a disease, but it's not. What was the second part?
The second part of the question was, people from different culture, how did they, meeting different people from different cultures, how did that impact your perspective on mental health?
Well, it kind of like made me realize like we're all humans and we all like have some sort of similarity and some sort of differences, but it's more similarity towards mental health.
Well, for me, after I joined the group, I realized that we all face mental health issues, but depends on our cultures. We react to it differently. Some people are more open to talk about it because they came from cultures where it's okay to talk about your mental health, and others were not very open about it, and it was hard for them to talk about mental health because of their culture. But I learned that we all face struggles in mental health, and it was a great opportunity to meet people from different cultures.
Actually, they said all I wanted to say, so maybe I have nothing to add. Do we move on?
Yeah. So like Patricia said as well, like different culture like approach mental health differently. For my culture, some people think that. So basically, the term mental health, like people don't even use it, like they don't know what it is. And also, when someone has some mental health symptoms, they will say like, oh, something is wrong with that person, or like some people even call them as cursed. So they don't know, most of them don't know how to deal with it. Some is ashamed and like have the stigma of it, and also some people even lock themselves in the room thinking that, oh, like what is wrong with me? Like why am I born like this? When like they just don't know that mental health actually exists.
Before joining this group, I always thought that it might be just people from my country are facing this. Well, I didn't know much about it, and I thought it's very just my country who could be having due to the war zone and what is happening. But as I got together with other people around the neighboring country as well, I see all of them. We are all facing the similar issues and traumas, which kind of become an everyday life. Hence why we don't really acknowledge it, because everybody faced it. And then you move to somewhere else like Australia, which there's peace and quiet and opportunity, you kind of understand that is not a normal way of living, and what you see and what happened to you back home is actually is trauma, and it can impact you and on your behavior and your social skills and the way you talk. And I'm grateful to got the opportunity to meet others and to see that how it is impacting not just only Afghanistan, Iran, it's actually impacting other countries all around that area, Middle East and Asian countries who are being involved heavily in war. So yeah.
So to just summarize all of that up, my understanding from that was that people may have viewed mental health as some kind of illness, like Ella has said. Some people might view it as people that are crazy. And one of the biggest reasons for that, which Irfan pointed out too, was that it's the lack of knowledge. Countries that are developing countries such as Afghanistan and other countries across Middle East and Asia, they may not be fully aware of mental health because there's a lack of knowledge there, because they have not been given the opportunity to learn about mental health. And when they come to Australia, which is a very developed and open country, people get to understand what mental health really is, and that just opens their perspective even more. The second question that I have for you is, what would you tell your younger self about mental health? Ella, would you like to answer that one?
Sure. So, what I would tell my younger self is to be more open and honest with my feelings, and also to tell myself that it's okay not to be okay, and that talking about mental health is just as important as physical health. Yeah.
What I would tell my younger self is to don't think that you have all the knowledge, or you're perfect, or even if I was confident, I still gotta go and communicate with others, because this is the only way that I could learn stuff that I could, like, by myself I would never learn. It's just communicating with others and talking to them and understanding them.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Something that I would add to that would be that as humans, we are not objects, we are not trees, we are not rocks, we've got feelings, and it is important that we acknowledge that they are valid. And everybody will not have a perfect day every day, and some days your day and your feelings might be like an ocean, very stormy and very wavy. But once you get the access that is there for mental health, like Headspace, kids helpline for young people across Geelong, you could get the help that you need, and that will actually calm yourself down and hopefully turn your stormy ocean into a calm, sunshine one.
Well, I want to add that too. It's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to be sad or not feeling fine. And I want to tell them, me, my younger self, and the other young people, that you can talk about your mental health struggles, and there's people who actually care to listen, actually care to make you feel better about yourself. Do you want to add something?
What I would say to my young self about the mental health is that expressing your mental health is not an issue, or it's not a problem to express that you have a mental health issue, like deep depression or deep expression of feeling or broken heart. It is your strength that you can understand your mental health like as your physical health, and it's important about your life to understand how to protect your mental health from the issues and depressions.
I would tell my younger self that it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to get help. Getting support is not a weakness, it's a strength. And by you getting support doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're strong and you're trying to heal these pains.
I will probably tell my younger self to, as everyone mentioned as well, take it easy on yourself. Seek help if you need, and also don't always trust what you see, and avoid comparing yourself with other people. What's been happening a lot with the younger generation at the moment, we see is exposure of social media and the fake content that goes all over it. People see the great life that people living in, they're looking at it, they get jealous, they get overwhelmed. Sometimes they look at themselves, they put themselves down and to see that, oh, how come this person's doing a lot better than me, what they're doing, how come they're living a better life than me, or how come they got a brand new car, all this comparison just destroys your ego, destroys you, destroys your mental health, destroys your focus as well, so you don't get enough opportunity or you can't focus properly and kind of start to distance yourself from the family. So I would definitely tell our youngest, take it easy, look after your health, your physical health, mental health, seek help if you need, try to, if you came across an issue or anything, reach out to a friend. If you're not comfortable with someone, talk to someone who's older than you, try to reach out to someone who's your age, because usually that tends to be a lot more comfortable when you're any age between 10, 15, all the way to 20, I would say. Then after that you get to the adulthood, so you start to be more comfortable talking to your parents about life and etc. But before that, I would say definitely seek help, ask a friend. If you're too shy with your friends, you're too worried that they're going to expose you, there's a lot of help. As Ali mentioned, there's Headspace, there is many other helps as well, the community, and also even the school counselling. They're always there. Just knock on the door, you can always go in there, sit down, have a chat with them during the recess, lunchtime, after school, before school, even during the periods as well. If you're feeling overwhelmed by workload, studies, just go and have a chat with them, because it always takes the burden off you.
Yep, and my understanding from that is that mental health and the feelings that you are experiencing is real. They are valid and they are not a weakness. Some people may look at it and say, it's a curse, like Ella said. It's not a curse. It is, everybody goes through this, and like Irfan mentioned, some people hide it really well, some people don't. And it's okay to get the help that you need. And in order for you to be very successful in society, be at peace, and be yourself, is to just be treat mental health like physical health, like Ella did say. So the second question that I have for you guys for tonight is, do you think involving young people in learning about mental health will change community perspectives? Would you like to take that on your front?
Yes, it's, as you said, treat it as physical health. I think as everyone needs to exercise and help their body keep their health, they gotta exercise their brain to keep their mental health up, which will help the community develop quicker and stronger and faster. So I think that's all.
Could you repeat the question, please?
I can. Do you think involving young people in learning about mental health will change perspective of communities?
Absolutely. As I would say, well, the young people are the future generation of the country, and they're going forward. They're the future generation of the community, and they're the one passing that we're living here and expanding. As I said, they'll be coming in, and the kids will be coming in, and whatever they pass on, going down to the kids as well. So if we can, as young adults at the moment, we can help out and send out the message to them. And for example, down the track, when I have kids, I would pass on the same message to them as well, so they can spread the message between them to understand there's always a safe space. They can always speak up, come out and talk to us if they have a need, if they feel overwhelmed, uncomfortable, something's bothering them, something's keeping them, distracting them, and they can't focus on anything. Definitely give them that help. Just because if you pass that to your kids, they will be able to share the same energy to their friends, and that's how we usually spread down the energy between the people around them, and makes it easier for them. So if I have the positive energy, and you come to me and we're having let's say as kids having heydays or etc. If something's wrong, you will be open up and say it about it to me, and be like, oh, this is happening to me. And no matter, because you feel confident, you feel comfortable, you trust me enough to speak up about it, to get them to understand that they can always trust.
Yep.
Speak up about it.
And something I would like to add to that would be that mental health, one of the reasons that we think that people might not understand it was because of all lack of knowledge, we've got the knowledge, and we are basically the next generation of humans that will run Earth, every corner of Earth. And it may be the road ahead might be rough, but we should shake the table and show them that no, mental health is valid. It's not about being crazy. It's not about being cursed. And we should, hopefully the knowledge that we can get, like you said, we should pass it on to our kids, pass it on to our future generations, and make them feel welcome, so they don't have to experience negative mental health.
Absolutely. We can definitely do that, and definitely try to educate the elders as well. Some elders are very open up as well about it, and some people unfortunately can be very closed into understanding better. But there are people who are elderly who are open about it and understanding. Even if they understand out of the 100% or 80%, if they can even understand 20 to 30% of it, that's still a good start, because that's the start of you from something and helping you to build that relationship and go forward. So yeah, anyone else want to add to it?
Well, I think absolutely involving young people, young generation in something like that is very powerful. That would give them power to change the old perspective. Something like having mental health issue that's mean you're crazy. Involving the new generation, the future generation, and things like that would open the communities more, would let them learn and develop more knowledge about mental health.
Just like Irfan and Patricia mentioned as well, and to answer the question as well, for sure, definitely, like because young people are the future, so if we really involve them and educate them and discuss with them about mental health, having discussion with them, then for sure, like that will have a huge impact on community perspective as well, and also through that, like they'll be able to be more open and have more understanding and be more supporting on one another.
Yep, just to spice some things up, the last question for the night is, what was your highlight of being part of Multicultural Youth Advisory Committee? Patricia.
Well, my highlight was having safe space to talk about mental health. As I mentioned first, mental health was a very, very interesting topic for me, and being here and being able to talk with people same as my age, from different communities, learning more about them, about their culture, about what they think about mental health, for me was the biggest highlight. Do you want to add something?
Well, my highlight was like how open this group was and was for each other's culture, like their background, and get to know each other's background, like in general, knowing like what people went through and hearing their stories.
Yeah, my highlight about the mental health community that I'm here, it was to illustrate like new ideas and new information about the people background and the people that are sitting here, and they have like different perspective and values and how to talk to people and in the community. And the best one was to know more about mental health and how to express our feeling and take care of our mental health. That was the biggest highlight that I learned here.
My highlight is I learned so much about others' perspective about mental health and others' feelings, or how they experience themselves, and that helped me like copy them or learn from them and try to apply it. So I got improvement, a big improvement on myself and on my talking and on my mental health as a whole, yeah.
I would say my highlight of the group was I got to meet other people from other cultures and got an understanding of a different perspective from each one of them as well, and kind of understood how they're dealing with it as well, because as it's been mentioned before, everybody opened up about it, and they open up about their personal situation as well and how they have dealt with that situation. So we use those same methods. I'm probably going to be using a couple of those methods myself to cope with certain things as well if you come across any issues or obstacles down the track. So it's always great to get other people's perspective, and just because of different cultures, people will raise in a different way. They will have a different view of a situation, of how to deal with something, which is always great, and it's always good to learn new things.
My highlight is actually food. So every time we get together, like the food that we ate, food can definitely like open my heart any day, anytime, and anywhere. And of course, definitely the connection we build with one another as well. How like we go from stranger to like being able to really open ourselves up. Yeah, really love that. And also, importantly, like every time we come together as well, we get to learn more about the topic of mental health and also many other subtopic around it. Yeah.
Thank you. And my highlight was definitely dancing in Greek, Middle Eastern, European, Asian songs. It's a lovely time at the end of last year, dancing with snares. It was really fun. And just to thank everybody for listening our podcast, and the message that we probably all want to share with you guys is to be brave. Mental health is valid feelings, and that it's not a weakness, it's not a curse. You are not crazy. You should believe in your feelings, and you should always seek help when you need it. And just be yourself. Mental health is just no different to physical health.
I'm just gonna add one last thing. Don't fear anything in your mind. As long as it's in your mind, it's still a thought, it's not real. So don't fear.
Hope you don't mind me adding something else.
Go for it.
I read this somewhere, and they said, try to change the world. If you can't change the world, try to be the change that you want to see in the world. So, as you mentioned as well about it earlier, we want to pass on the new, we want to change the perspective of our communities into it. If we can't change their perspective, we can be the change that we can pass down to the generations, and they can understand that change. So yeah.
Start the change from yourself. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode of Voices of Change, where stories shape understanding and young voices lead the way. This podcast was proudly created by young people from the Multicultural Youth Advisory Group, a space for learning, healing, and advocacy. Special thanks to our incredible cast for sharing their stories, insights, and courage. We also extend our deepest gratitude to the counsellors, bicultural workers, and community leaders who made this journey possible. This project was made possible through the support of Melly and Foundation House, and the dedication of everyone who believes in youth-led, culturally responsive mental health care.